Welcome to G40 Alt Universe. Now, as of the time of this recording, it is round 3 in our game. But if you're watching this video, then that means the game is done. It's finished. It's over. Of course, I don't know who wins or loses this game. Probably me. But what I thought I would do is every round, just before or after my turns, I will do a little bit of a video just looking over the board and make some predictions, let you guys know what my thoughts are, what my plans are, what I think Contango's doing and thinking, that sort of stuff. As I think it will be kind of interesting for the few of you who are following the game to gain a bit of insight into my thought processes, and probably especially interesting for Contango to gain a bit of insight into what we were thinking, where and when, and all that good stuff. So as I say, it is round 3, just before the USA turn. It's good news that it's round 3 because it means the USA is finally able to declare war. And yes, we've been waiting a long time to get stuck into the war, and we're finally able to. As you can see, the plan largely for the US is to come down here into Sea Zone 58. This is a nice sort of outpost for us to occupy. It's got a naval base here, as long as we control that territory, which looks like we'll be able to control for the foreseeable future. So from here, I mean, there's quite a lot of factories in this area belonging to the Italians and the Germans, and it would be really nice for the US to gain control of one of those. So that's a really nice position to be in. We can also kind of head down here and maybe in the future have plans of taking this back, or at least threatening it. Although looking at this, there's still quite a lot of Japanese troops occupying this French city. And probably what I'll end up doing, though, at least at first, is coming back up here to the north to help defend the UK from this massive German onslaught that's about to happen. So yeah, nice central position to be in for the US, and that's what I'm going to try and do. I predict that Contango won't attack this round. He will instead opt to bring in these reinforcements into UK 5 and then attack with everything all in one go the round following, which gives the UK another 1 round, I think, to prepare. And yes, I'm going to be building 10 infantry in there every round that I'm alive. These French troops are coming in as well to help defend. Unfortunately, the US will be 1 round too late to actually reinforce North London ahead of this onslaught, but it might be possible, depending on how well the battle goes, it might be possible for the US to swoop up here from Sea Zone 58 with all of these 6 transports and take a shot at taking it back. But we'll have to wait and see how that battle goes. Now, Germany is spending a lot of resources going after one city here, not London, which is good for the Allies in a way. As we can see, Russia has been left almost alone for this whole game. And this round Russia declared war and is now adjacent to this German city up here. So we'll see how the Germans respond to that. I don't know if they quite have enough to take that stuff out. But yeah, I'm not playing Russia, but I think generally the plan for Russia is to put a lot of pressure onto the Germans and kind of force them to spend resources here defending this city. Meanwhile, this kind of frees up the Americans to be a bit more free down here, and hopefully get G21, maybe some of these Italian factories down here. Of course, it would be nice to force Italy to take a more defensive posture in light of a bunch of American transports and a huge fleet, which will consist of all of this lot and all of this lot going down there this turn. So hopefully that'll put some pressure on the Italians there as well. Perhaps force them to retreat this fleet. Be nice to take that out if we can. And that's pretty much it for the US. This was a really annoying move. I completely overlooked this. If I don't control all of my mainland territories, then it means I don't get a 10 IPC national bonus. So I'm surprised Japan only went in with 1 infantry and didn't move all of this lot into this French territory here to then subsequently push into this US mainland territories, as that will deny, or it would have denied the US a lot of bonus income and forced them to build stuff up here and bring stuff back. Indeed, I'm going to build a tank up here. I'm already having to bring this mechanized group back, as well as 1 bomber, which I really didn't want to have to do. I wanted to bring these mech down here, but as I said, I just completely overlooked that. That was a thing. So that's a bummer, but looks like we'll be able to deal with that annoyance. Japan is miles over here. What's the plan for China then? Well, China is looking okay at the moment. We've been out of the war for the first 3 rounds, so we've just been building up a lot of infantry. The plan is to move into C19 with everything that can, more or less, threaten this Japanese city, and hopefully this will force the Japanese to bring all of these transports and most of these infantry over here to this city, which would be fine by me. And maybe that's what Japan has in mind anyway, maybe after which point he will launch a counter-offensive and start pushing into China. But my plan as China is just to not lose this city. Just hold on to this city. If I can keep control of this city for the game, then that's a win for China. And 1 less city the Axis will have in their arsenal by the end of the game, meaning we'll be 1 point closer to an Allies win. So after this move, I'm just going to retreat back to the city. And wait to see how Japan responds. I don't think he'll have enough really to take that out, because by the time he gets anywhere close, I will just have a monstrous army of mostly infantry, but perhaps some support by the ANZAC as well as perhaps even Russia. So that's China. Am I missing anything? What's the plan as the UK? Well, I've pretty much already said, just dig in here. Try not to lose London, but I'm guessing I probably will ultimately end up losing it. After which point, I will just try my best to hold on to not India. I've already got a decent sized army there, and I'm going to be continuing to build lots of infantry, well, 3 infantry a turn in there hopefully, and then 3 up here as well, and try not to lose those 2 cities. Though I do suspect I'll ultimately end up losing this one, as it is just so far away from anything, and it'll be very hard to take that back, as there's no other allied powers anywhere near that can really lend a hand. So that's about it for round 3, my ideas, and yes, I'll give an update in round 4 or before if I feel there's something worth talking about. Cheers, see you in the next round.
What's up, boys? This is Contango coming at you from Waterloo, Ontario, Canada. So right now we are on turn 3. It's Italy's turn. I guess I can quick show you the board here. So yeah, round 3. You can see the differential in the income, or at least the cash on hand, really jumped this turn. That is because the US is in the war, they're getting their national objectives. China is in the war, they're getting their national objectives, and Russia's in the war, they're getting their national objectives. So we're pretty far behind on income, and some of what we've got there is temporary. It's from taking over cities and industrial complexes. So we're, what is that, 43 behind, which is not going to be good long term. So something to think about. Where we're at right now is, let me give you kind of the, I guess the plan A of what I was trying to do here is, you know, roll through France and then try to go for this UK 4 city right here. So there's a city there, there's a major industrial complex that was upgraded. Yeah, so I was trying to put as much pressure on that as I could. I think I've actually made a mistake when I was initially thinking through what I was doing here, and I underestimated how much stuff would be there. I think I missed 1 round of UK's purchases. So There's actually some units I didn't send in here that I could have. So I didn't do everything I possibly could have to make this battle work out. There's some more things I could have done. But as it's turning out right now, if I project ahead to turn 5 when I would attack this, I'm going to have about, I think I calculated it out as like 87 units. And the UK plus the US, if they bring everything that they can, they're going to have 86 units. And my odds of taking it are something like 30%. So that's not good enough, obviously. Now, it can change in my favor if one thing that's a bit of a variable here is C-Zone 40. So I do have one transport up there that's going to pick up some units on turn 4 and drop them in UK 5 with the rest of the German units. And then on Germany's turn 5, if C-Zone 40 is open, I could also try to transport some more troops in there coming through that strait into UK 4. So that would boost my odds up to maybe 50 or 60%. It also depends on what I buy. This next coming turn is Germany. If I buy planes, that will boost my odds up to, I don't know, 60 or 70%. But that's not really the best odds for, like, it would take, I think, all my money in planes to get my odds very high. And I've got to worry about Russia over here. So Russia is coming fast, and I'm going to need to do something about that in the near future. And Russia's got a lot of money coming. So I don't have a lot of time to get this done. And so that was kind of plan A, was to try to do that, at least force the US to bring everything they possibly could. And they do have everything over here that's available. I think that Corporal Clegg could have purchased more in a different way to get more units into UK 4. But anyway, that ship has sailed. So anyway, it's not looking great for this, so I think I'm moving on to plan B at this point. I will still take UK 4 if I can. And when I say if I can, that's if the US and the UK do not bring everything they can up there. So when I was talking about those odds earlier, that's if everything, all these US ground units, there's 4 planes on the little island there, there's 6 planes on the carriers, there's, this British fleet. By the way, I didn't mention, but those markers there is where these fleets are, in case you're unfamiliar with the fleet markers. But yeah, so it would include those 2 planes on the British carrier. It would include the AA gun and the infantry on the one island that belong to the UK. So that's with everything. So if Corporal Clegg makes a mistake here and doesn't bring everything, then I do actually have a shot at this. But I'm guessing he's calculated out enough to know that he needs to bring everything, or just about everything. He could possibly, take a few units off and still be safe-ish, but he's running a risk here if he doesn't. So that's kind of where this sits. Over here with Russia, I don't have enough to kill him in G6. In fact, I'm going to have to bring everything in, what is this? G7. I'm going to have to bring that all back to save my city. Thankfully, I'm kind of happy with where he's positioned, although that territory is worth 3. It means he's not coming up here and getting his national objective in PA4. Also, if Russia does get up here into PA4, they've got 3 territories around there, that they can pick off every turn, and they get an extra national objective for doing that. I'm a little surprised he didn't take PX2 last turn, but I've also got to worry about eventually losing that and G2, and then Russia gets another national objective up there. So if I'm focusing over here against the UK, there's really nothing that I can do about that. So that's where Germany sits. Let's talk about Japan for a minute. I know this is Italy's turn, but we got to talk about Germany and Japan before we can decide what Italy does. So this is a problem down here. As you can see, there are 32 infantry there, plus an artillery. So I could save that, and I could do that by taking all these transports, filling them with these guys, coming down, bringing everything back, and then bringing all these planes over. I believe I'd be safe enough in that city from that. And that would be a little tricky, though, because of this UK fleet. Corporal Clegg did that at kind of the last minute. I was actually thinking that he might do that, so it wasn't a complete surprise, but there was just nothing I could do to stop it. So, I mean, I guess had I thought about it earlier, I might have been able to use my destroyer to block it, but it just wasn't that big of a priority. So that's a problem, because I don't want all these transports just sitting and hanging out there. So what I would have to do is probably use the destroyer to block C-Zone 108, put all the transports in C-Zone 90, and then buy an airbase off of J6 to try to protect against those two planes. And that might be enough to stop him. And would also be a little bit worried, because ANZAC is going to go first. They might be able to get in position to also attack that. But, I mean, that'd be scrambling on two different turns. It might still be safe, but it would get a little bit tricky. So that is maybe savable, but it's going to be tricky. So that was kind of plan A as well, was to go and save that. But I think we might be deviating from that a little bit now, based on what's going on with Germany. So just in general, not liking where I'm at, and because Germany is not going to be able to take UK4. So I'm not saying I'm in desperation mode, but I need to make something happen mode. Now, this is worrying here, this fleet, but remember that all that stuff has to go up to save UK4. So, I mean, the fleet could stay down here, but all the ground units are probably not going to be doing anything. So they could come down and try to take this city, the Italian city, or that other territory below it. But I've got a trick up my sleeve to deal with that. So first thing that's definitely going to happen on Italy's turn is this bomber is going to go and try to bomb this naval base. And hopefully that works out. And if it does, that means that this city is definitely safe, and this other territory with the factory I-5 is safe. I do have to worry about, well, because the U.S. comes first, that naval base will be damaged no matter what for the U.S. So they won't be able to reach. But I do have to worry about the UK and their one transport, which is not that big of a deal. I should be safe from that. So hopefully this bombing run is going to work out. If it doesn't, I've also got a backup plan. Well, backup plan one is Germany can bomb that as well. And also they can block with some of these ships down here. There's a naval base, so they can come up 1, 2, 3 and block. So, like I said, I think they're going to have to go up to UK4, but in any case, I might be blocking. But that frees up Italy more than you might think. Like, most people would be worried about this, but I can stall for a turn, and Italy can be a bit more aggressive. So back to Japan for a minute. So Japan is thinking that, so option one was to come and try to save this city and get going against China, move forward up here, kind of kick them off this side of the Chinese area, and go from there. So the next best option, I thought, though, was these transports can load up and come to, what is this, C-Zone 79, drop here in UK 18, and set up to take this city right here. And I have enough to do that almost no matter what. I mean, if the U.S. decided to send all the planes on the carriers over, then I might not be able to. But if that happens, then Germany is definitely going to be able to take this. So it's almost one or the other. You know, what the U.S. has got to decide, what do they want to save? Do they want to save UK 10 or do they want to save UK 4? And probably they're going to save UK 4 because they really want that major factory cranking out units up there. So probably what would happen is UK is going to back off, and I'm going to get that for cheap. I mean, I'm going to have to deal with all those UK units eventually, but at least that would get me some money, and it would put the US in a little bit of trouble here. They'd have a lot of things to deal with. Germany up here, Japan right here, and Italy down here. So It gets me another city. The problem is, though, this is going to die because I'm not saving that. So, I mean, these units in I-5 can move to C-22. I mean, they'll eventually probably get killed by the Chinese or the UK over here. The mechanized units can go with them, but these other 4 infantry and 2 artillery are pretty much dead at that point. I'm gonna need all the transports, so those guys are gonna be dead no matter where they go. So that's unfortunate. And China is gonna be real strong. They're gonna take J6. They're gonna steal money from Japan, which is a problem. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what else to do. So I think that might be what Japan is going to do. We've also got to clean up this island down here. We do have a lot of units left to do it. I think we're going to take out this UK city with the infantry, the mech, and the tank, and maybe a bomber or something like that. But so that's what Germany and Japan are doing. So that leaves me back to Italy, it's actually Italy's turn. So what are they going to do? And option 1 is just keep pressing over here as much as I can, which is not that much. I can't move forward yet on this turn. The Russian group there is too big. And I don't know about going south here. It's going to take a lot of time and effort. I might just transport these units and pick up 1 extra in the south here and really put pressure on the UK. So that's, I guess, aside from bombing the naval base up there, that's probably what I would do. Kill this destroyer down here. I'll be sitting in the low 30s for money, which is not too bad, but like I said, we're pretty far behind. And then there's the really crazy option, which is go for these strict neutrals, or neutral league is what I call them for this game. But so I could go after this neutral league 11, take that city, get extra money. It's worth $4. And if Italy can get this entire donut down here, that's worth an extra $5. So it's kind of like the Money Islands, but for Italy. The Money Islands from the out-of-box game. So if I do that, Italy is going to be rolling in the money, and that's good. They're probably going to be, like I said, the U.S. is probably going to have to go up and save UK4. So Italy would have a lot of money. I don't know what I would do with it. Maybe build a bit more navy and try to take this city at some point, the UK city. So that's kind of the crazy option. And if I did that, I would probably take this one out as well. But the problem with that is these 2 up here would then turn pro-allied along with the other pro-allied that's sitting there. That is 1, 2, 6, 9 units that the allies could, like the US specifically, could just jump on right there. And then also Russia could take another 6 over here, and that's some extra money over there for them. So it would be great for Italy, but it would be a real problem for Germany. If Germany isn't able to take UK4, and they're just going to have to stall up here for as long as they can and hope Japan and Italy can either take some pressure away or win the game, that would be a real problem for Germany, those extra 9 units over here, 6 units over there. So while it is nice that Italy would be getting crazy money, I don't think I'm going to do that. Still on the table. I haven't decided yet. I think I'm going to actually do the Italy turn tomorrow, so I'm going to take a little bit more time deciding. But it seems like it would be fun, but maybe not the best thing to do. So I think maybe I might do something a little bit more risk averse. See what happens. See if Corporal Clegg makes a mistake up here and lets me take UK4, and also see what happens over here. I would probably be able to take UK10. He's probably going to back off in that case. So I would get something out of it. Yeah. In terms of winning the game, though, I'm not sure how it would fare out. I am pretty much going to lose China, which means definitely losing this city, and at some point probably this one as well. If I let China get really out of control, they'll be making $30 plus per turn, and I'm not sure if I'd be able to deal with that while doing other things. So I'm kind of thinking about how I would, what else could I possibly get? There's this ANZAC city up here. I might try to sneak up through this side and basically just abandon China. Brett seems to like doing that. So I might also try to put a little bit of pressure on the U.S. I mean, there's no way that I'm thinking I'm going to get up there and get those cities, but if I can at least hold U.S. 21, that takes an extra $10 per turn away from the U.S. So that might be an objective, at least to get me closer in income. Because if you look at the cash here, like I said, I'm about 40 behind per turn. But if you ignore China, what's China at? 27. I'm not as far behind. And like I said, some of what I have now is temporary, but if I'm ignoring China, I'm a little closer than it looks. So at least I can get the income differential in a better spot, but still not quite sure how to actually go about winning this game. So we'll see. Anyway, this is getting pretty long. It's already 20 minutes. I didn't think it would go that long. So let's call it there. Hopefully this was enlightening. We'll see what happens on Italy turn 3, but I think it'll probably just be moving some ground units in this general direction towards the UK and or Russia. And yeah, I don't know if I'll do another video after Germany, because I've kind of explained what's probably going to happen there is just all this stuff is moving forward and surviving over here. So anyway, that's it for now. Talk to you later.
It is round 4. It is just after the USA, UK and China turns, and this is what I'm thinking. We decided to go all out in the defense of not London. We'll see how this goes. We'll see whether Contango bites, if he goes for it, or if he decides to build up another few rounds. But I feel like this could go either way. It's quite a big battle, and yeah, a lot's at stake, really. Could be a game changer, that one. Yeah, it feels very very passive to play like this, ultra defensive. But at the end of the day, we only need to make sure the Axis don't get their 14 victory cities. We will secure victory at the end of round 8 if we can do that. So that's kind of the main focus, in my mind at least. Starting to turtle here in India as well. There's a lot of IPCs up for grabs here. This is worth 3, this is worth 2. There's a lot of money here which the UK is about to lose. So we've got to hang on for another 4 rounds, and depending on what happens up here, I think I'm going to focus on just building up here as much as I can, probably 10 infantry every turn. It looks like I'm going to lose this city. I'm probably going to end up losing this one. So I guess we just need to make sure that we don't lose London as well. And Germany, I've probably said this in the last video, is spending a lot of time and resources going after this, so it's not all bad for us. Some good news is China is doing very well, and we've managed to take this city away from the Japanese, which is fairly significant. I decided in the last minute, last turn, to move my UK fleet over here, and what this basically meant was that the Japanese transport ships that were here, I believe, they could no longer come over here and reinforce J6 as I thought they were going to do, because of this threat here, right? So it might have been Contango's intention all along to go up there. Maybe he's factoring in that he's going to lose this city because, well, he's got a major industrial complex. It wouldn't take too much effort for him to fly all of his air force over, bring these transports back, build a bunch more, and swoop in and take that back. So I guess the focus for China now is to try and hold this city. And I'm going to be building mostly infantry. Again, just pump out that infantry. We've got a lot of money to spend now. So I might be getting 10 infantry every turn. Downside is I can't place them in this territory, so I'm going to have to place them here in this adjacent territory. But if we can hold on to that, or at least give Japan something else to spend money getting back, then I think that will be a bonus for us. Looks like Italy could be doing some damage with this fairly sizable army here, which is no doubt heading towards this city, with support of some Germans as well. Whether they'll be able to take that out, I'm not sure. One thing China could do is, when they get to here, I could build some infantry in here and move them in. I am actually allowed as China to move into this territory, I believe, as well as this one. So that's an idea. China could help defend that. So whether he'll be able to achieve that, we'll wait and see. I'm going to suggest as well to Piloto to build a major industrial complex up here. Russia's focus really should be to just not lose any cities. And one thing Germany could do in this position is put down a bunch of transport ships, and then this will be bad news because all of this stuff is out of position. They can't get back here. It's 2 territories away. So then they could just keep hammering away at that territory. So depending on what Germany buys and builds next time, if he builds a bunch of transports up here, then we're in trouble. But I'm going to suggest just retreat, major industrial, and hang on to what you've got, because that's 4 cities belonging to Russia, which if we can keep, then we're in the business. We're going to be looking very good. Not quite sure what exactly Contango has in mind with these 2 new minor industrial complexes here. He also has a 3rd one here, so I'm guessing he's going to be building a lot of mechanized units. They could be heading up towards the ANZAC city up there, and possibly even drive into the US to deny them of that 10 IPC bonus. But I don't really care about that bonus too much, as long as the Axis don't have their 14 cities. There's no way they're going to get up there to get either of those, because I can just simply defend them with 10 units in each without too much trouble, hopefully. More likely, I think he'll go for A4, though he doesn't have much navy anywhere near, so there'll be no kind of amphibious assault in conjunction with all these possible tanks coming up there. So that's something we'll have to wait and see. I haven't really thought about this too much, to be honest, so I will wait until Japan's turn, the next turn, turn 5, and I'm sure that will become clear. And as I said, it's looking pretty likely I'm going to lose this city up here, but it's well within range of the US kind of capital city, if you like. I have a 2nd minor industrial complex next to it as well, so I think I should be okay to take that back. I feel like I've done my bit helping the UK now. The focus for the US should be to come in here, make sure I can take this back, threaten the Japanese Navy. Going to be building probably mostly sea units from now on, and transports, and they'll either come down here to help liberate this, or they'll come down here and hopefully put some pressure on the Italians. But we'll wait and see what happens. That's about it for my thoughts at this stage. If I have any more, I will make another little clip, and we'll wait and see. It's about to get very exciting, especially up here. Let's see what happens.
All right, we're back. It is now Italy turn 4. It's going to do another little strategy session here. Yeah, so Italy turn 4. Give you a little flyby of what the map looks like right now. Apologize, my voice is not in the best of shape. I haven't been feeling that well last couple of days. I did take a test. It wasn't COVID, so at least it said it was negative. So feeling a bit better now, but the voice is still a little crackly, so hopefully it's not too bad. Anyway, so we are, like I said, still round 4, nearing the end of round 4. It's Italy's turn. You can see there 9 cities for the Axis, and a big income differential of over 50. So that's where we're sitting right now. I'm not feeling particularly great about my situation, but I don't think we're in dire straits yet, but just trying to decide what the best way forward is. So I think what Italy is going to do, I think this is the last kind of, well, I mean, there might be an opportunity later, but for now, this is the last kind of kick at the can if I wanted to go after these neutral league territories. I've got 3 transports lined up, as well as the German one, so I could take out possibly this territory and this one, and take this one with the Germans since there's no defenders there. They only have 1 ground unit, or 1 infantry anyway. So that is one option, but excuse me, don't think I'm going to go with that because I think I talked before about how it's going to unleash a lot of well, all the neutral league are going to turn pro-allied, so that's just too many units for me to deal with, especially with the US and the UK. Their fleets are sitting there in C-Zone 39, so it's going to be easy for them with all the transports they have to jump on, you know, those 2 or 3 territories, and for the Russians to get these ones. So that's just going to be a bad time, I think. So Italy is going to, I think, move forward here. You can see the Russians have moved up to R23. Now, I'm not sure if they're just there to back the Germans off. There's only like 5 German units here. But so I'll have to back off as Germany, and I think I'm going to use a UK plane to bolster that a bit because I am worried about those tanks and the tactical bomber rolling through. He may also send that whole army into IN8, and then he's only 2 spaces away from this German city, which is relatively undefended. And if he does that, then I've really got to place a lot of units there, which are not going to be up here going after the UK, and they're not going to be going after Russia. So we didn't really talk about Germany, but yeah, so maybe we'll talk a bit about that now. Yeah, so the UK and the US and France brought everything they possibly could into UK4. All those units that are sitting there are actually in UK4, just didn't want to stack everything in there. So and that means I don't have enough as Germany to take it. I think I calculated it out as something around 30%. So not looking good to take that. So we're going to have to, though, I think, stay in position to possibly take it. And that's going to hopefully lock in a lot of those units, having to babysit that. So I don't want the U.S., you know, coming back down here with that entire fleet and all those transports. So, I mean, I could switch and go after Russia, but I think that would be game over for me, because then the U.S. would be able to just come down here and go after Italy, or also, you know, come in to Germany through here and along the coast. So I think that would be a bad day. So I am going to stay put, even though I'm not going to be taking UK4, because I need to keep that threat alive for as long as I can, to keep the US pinned as long as I can. Plus the UK, I don't need them moving forward. You know, they do have a major factory there, so that's going to be a problem. And then Russia over here, Germany would like to move forward into R28, but it's just not going to happen. There's too much Russian stuff there. So I think we're going to have to move forward to G7 right here, and just protect both the city and the and that PA4 as much as we can at the same time. Got to be worried about losing my city. There's a lot of tanks and mechanized infantry there, so I'm going to need to take R28 and G6 hopefully back on this turn, and then we'll see. I think this fleet is going to have to leave. There's just too many planes over here now, and I don't think I'm going to be able to stick around. So I'm going to have to, I think, come up over here, and that'll give me an opportunity to bolster G2 a little bit. I only have 1 transport, so can't do too much. So that's what Germany's thinking. They're just basically going to be status quo. I will take this territory, and then I may try to get that territory as well, because if I control all of that, it's a 5 IPC bonus for me. So I've only got 2 infantry here that can go into PA5. I've got a number of planes up here as well. So that's probably what Germany is going to do. So Italy, I think, will be moving forward into R28. We need to put pressure on the Russians. I probably don't have enough stuff here to walk all the way up and get R26 if he moves back with that army. But if he does decide to move forward to IN8, there'll be a bit of a base race. I'm going to move towards this one. He's going to move towards that one. And so at least I'll be in position to do that if he does decide to do that. And then I think what's going to happen down here is I'm just going to try to take out a bunch of these UK territories, a couple I can walk into, and then I might use some transports. I definitely don't have enough to go after this city down here. Let me just pause it for a second. I'm going to get a drink. Yeah, so I think I'm going to be able to get this territory, this one, probably get this one with a transport, and maybe this one as well with a transport, just because it's worth 3. And obviously, I'm not going to be able to hold it. But the good news is that the UK is not really building anything down here because they're too busy worried about that, about UK4. So Italy isn't close to being able to take this city, but I think I can move forward and possibly get my second national objective, and at the same time take a lot of income away from the UK. Also going to be using some subs to convoy over here, take my 1 sub over this way to deny that one national objective for the UK. So yeah, just doing what I can to close the income gap is really all I can do as Italy, unless I'm going to go after this, the neutral league down here, but I don't think that is what I want to do. All right, so Japan, yeah, I think, obviously you can see here, China has taken out that city from Japan, so that's not good, but that was inevitable. So I think we're going to try to hold on to this side as long as we can. With the income differential the way it is, we might just have to play this as a abandon China sort of game. And so what I've really got to decide here is a couple of things. One is, do I just go straight for the Australian city right now? I mean, it's what, 4 turns away, so 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got quite a few units there. I'll be building more mechanized units as we go. So I could just go straight for it now. Alternatively, I could put a number of things in US 21, enough that it would be too much for him to take back. And that's worth the 10 IPC objective from the US. It's kind of like owning, US mainland territories in out of box. So that would be worth $10, but taking this ANZAC city would put them out of the game. And right now they're making, what is it, $18 or $19, something like that. So that would be helpful. It's still 4 turns away, but so it's one or the other. I haven't decided there, but we've got a while before it's Japan's turn, so I'm gonna need to think about that. Could also come and kill this C11 with, I've got 2 mechs down here, 3 here, and 3 there, plus a number of planes. So I could just go crush that, but it's going to take my mechanized infantry away from my 2 main objectives up here, which is either going for that city or denying that U.S. national objective. So I think I'm just going to have to ignore that, but we'll see. What else have we got here? Yeah, so we've got the opportunity now to, let me flip over to the other side of the board. Corporal Clegg decided to leave his UK units in that territory. I'm a little bit surprised because they'll all get killed, but it's not the worst decision in the world for him, because when I take that, I'm going to have so few units left. Well, I mean, it's going to kill some of my units. I have a lot of planes, so I'm going to be able to take that no problem, but I'm probably only going to have, maybe 5 or 6 infantry left afterwards, and he's got, some mechanized units here, or he's got transports. I could try to block that if I bring my navy up here to 35 and maybe put a blocker in 44. I could deny him using his transports. So that might be an option if I do really well and have a number of ground units left, because, I mean, he would have 4 mechanized units. That's 2 mechs and 2 tanks, 2 bombers, and 2 fighter and a tactical bomber. So that's what, 8 units. Yeah, so in any case, he's going to have 8 units that can get there to retake that with the U.S. And of course, the U.S. comes first, so the U.K. is still going to be able to build there possibly, although they're probably going to want to build up here instead. But I think I need to take that out anyway, just because of the opportunity to kill all those units. And I was going to steal $8 from the U.K. and give it to Japan, so I think we kind of have to do that. I'm just not sure what the end game is after that. I think we will take some of these units from here. with all our transports that are over here. So I think a couple of them are going to, you know, come down into this space or this space and pick up some of those guys. So I will have a counterattack if the US does come and take this out. I will have a counterattack for at least one more turn, but I'm not sure how long I can keep that up, but we'll see. So I think I'll definitely have to take that out, but where we go from there is up in the air. The rest of these transports are probably going to head back this way. The one is going to be used to pick up some guys here and ship them over probably. I am considering buying a naval base here in J15, since most of these transports can only get that far. They can't get far enough here to pick up these guys. And also, that would put them in range to come back and hit, what is this, UK 10, this city, on the following turn. So as a counterattack to the US's possible counterattack. So might do something like that as well. All right, let me pause it for one more second here. All right, so I better wrap this up before I lose my voice completely. But yeah, so generally I think Italy is just going to do the status quo, try to take what they can and close the income gap a little bit. Germany is going to be survival kind of status quo, keep as much money as they can and keep pressure on UK to keep the UK and the US pinned down, while Japan goes after this and sees what they can get done over here. So I am behind 50 in income, but I think 10 of that is because the city was taken. So that was, you know, 5 IPCs went from Japan to China. So that's 10 total. Italy can take probably 5 this turn. So that's, you know, a loss of 10 from the Allies. Sorry, a loss of 5 for the Allies, a gain of 5 for the Axis. So that's another 10. And then you'll be getting another, you know, national objective here with Japan, getting some more territory with them, taking out a bit more from the French. So I think we can close that income gap to something like 30, 20 maybe, depending on how things go. So it's not the most awful situation, but if I don't start looking to move forward here, then I don't know, I'm just going to run out of, well, the Allies are going to build up too much and it's going to be game over eventually. So anyway, my voice is running out and I've talked for long enough anyways. So hopefully that was interesting for you, and we'll talk to you next time.